So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 marketing tips to help hypnotherapists get more clients and grow their business faster. Hi, my name's Shane Fossard. I'm the founder of the E-Hypnotherapist Certification and Marketing Program, as well as the Hypnotic Marketing Mentorship. Now, I've trained over 10,000 hypnotherapists in the last decade, as well as helping many of them to create and grow successful, scalable online businesses where they get to change lives doing what they love by showing them how to improve their offer, improve their marketing, and also to develop sales systems, even when they haven't been very good at using technology. Now, I remember what it was like when I first became a hypnotherapist and started to feel like I was really skilled at it, waiting to get more clients, wishing that my marketing would just work and that people would clearly be able to see how I could help them. But it wasn't until I learned this one thing that my entire business turned around. But before I get to that, look, if you haven't seen part 1 of the marketing tips for hypnotherapists, go and check this out in the description below. Now, let's start with marketing tip number 1. You want to use open loops to keep your ideal clients interested. Now, an open loop is when you refer to something interesting, but you keep that last part of the topic for later in your marketing or in your videos. Just like a TV series does on their final episode of the season. They give you this cliffhanger, a part of the story that's incomplete. And so there'll be this inattention within you that you want to find out what happens next. Now, you can use this by saying something like, keep watching this video because at the end, I'm going to share with you how to do X and Y. Now, alternatively, you can tell a story without an ending at the start of your content and then deliver the main content. And then finally, you finish the story at the end, therefore completing the loop. And then marketing tip number 2. Now, you want to use numbers and specificity in your headlines. Now, according to a number of marketing data sources, 80% of people won't read further than your headline. You can actually boost your traffic by 5 times depending on the headline that you use. And that's why it's so important to make your headline specific. And if you can, but not always, use numbers, such as why 15% of the population are more hypnotizable than the rest, or how Reese Witherspoon used hypnosis to deal with panic attacks caused by her new film, or even the attention-grabbing 7 reasons why you should get rid of your hypnotherapist. Marketing tip number 3. You want to avoid using big words that disconnect the audience from their emotions. You're likely familiar with the concept of people being either fully associated and present with their emotions, and at times when they dissociate and they go up inside their head and they disconnect from their own emotional state. And when you speak or write to influence your audience in some way, make sure you use easy to understand common words so they can stay current with the emotional journey that you're taking them on. Now, if you start using bigger, more complex words, it's like frequently putting on the handbrakes on their journey as they try to grasp what you're actually saying and what that big word really means, whilst their attention is no longer focused on what you're saying next. And so you want to avoid using jargon. Now, you already know that you're smart. You don't need to prove it by using big words, especially if it's at the cost of making your marketing less effective. Marketing tip number 4. You want to create a sense of urgency and FOMO. Now, a frog in a slowly boiling pot of water says life's okay. And so it never jumps out. And one of the most dysfunctional places to be in life is when life is just okay, because there's no real motivation to seek change. Instead, we accept our current conditions and we relax into inaction, unaware that we're actually blindly missing opportunities to create more, do more, and even become more. You've likely seen this many times. I mean, how many inquiries from people have you heard where that person just wanted some information and they're going to think about it over the next few weeks and then decide? Often that person feels some motivation to seek out that information, just like a frog asking, what's life like outside the pot? But they're not really feeling agitated enough by their current situation to take action. Now, one of our main intents of marketing needs to be to stir up the emotional association that the person has to their current situation to help them explore whether they truly are ready to take action and move forward or whether they're truly just happy staying the same. And when designing your marketing, you want to elicit a feeling of urgency, inspiring your audience to make a change as soon as possible, explaining what might happen if they wait longer, but also sharing with them the benefits, the amazing results that they might choose to miss out on if they wait even longer. Now, marketing tip number 5, you want to give them certainty in their decision. Now, before we all make an important decision, there's a moment of uncertainty that could actually self-sabotage us, convincing us that we're about to make the wrong decision and therefore we retreat back to our comfort zone. Yep, the slowly boiling water. Now, another one of our aims in marketing as a hypnotherapist is to give our audience certainty using the 5 P's of certainty. P1 is possibility. Now we need to give our audience certainty that it's possible for them to overcome this problem. P2 is person. We need to give the audience certainty that it's possible for them to overcome this problem with a high degree of probability. P number 3 is path. We need to give them certainty that they're following the right path, that the path that we suggest is going to help them overcome that problem. P4 is provider. We need to give them certainty in us as a provider, showing them the depth of our understanding, our approach to working with them, our qualifications, our experience, and also our past successful clients. P5 is price. And finally, at the right time, you need to clearly show your audience how the price for the investment for your service is certainly a better investment than waiting longer or doing nothing. So the 5 pieces for certainty are possibility, person, path, provider, and price. As a quick recap of the 5 marketing tips to help hypnotherapists get more clients are, number 1, use open loops to keep your ideal clients interested. Number 2, use numbers and specificity in your headlines. Number 3, avoid using big words that disconnect your audience from their emotions. Number 4, create a sense of urgency and FOMO. And then number 5, give them certainty in their decision using the 5 Ps. I see so many heart-driven hypnotherapists who want to make a bigger difference in the world using their skills, but they're making often many fundamental mistakes and oversights in how they position, package, and market their business, which actually stops them from having a bigger impact. Now, if you'd like a free marketing audit on your website, your business, or even your offers from someone that knows both hypnotherapy and marketing inside out, just like myself, then click on the link below to schedule a call. Now, in that call, I'm going to give you 3 actionable ideas that you can use to grow your business. Completely free, no obligation. Now, my intent in all of this is to show you and give you so much value that you take action on those ideas. You come back to me later saying, Shane, I just made all these changes and it just increased my income by 20%. What else can you show me? So comment below and tell me which of the hypnotherapist marketing tips stood out for you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, click the subscribe button to get access to even more.